remember how you felt, how we all felt, when we got out of the first J.J. Abrams installment of this new Star Trek franchise relaunch, reboot, call it what you will. And we were trying to discern whether we wanted to love this movie or whether we wanted to hate it. And I was very disturbed by the fact that I couldn't come up with a clear definition. For months I would watch the film, I'd go back and forth between liking it and disliking it in an extreme way. And I've reached the permanent conclusion, I believe, that the 2009 Star Trek film is a misuse of the Star Trek name and the Star Trek property. And what it was simply Hollywood looking at an old TV show that they'd done 45 years ago and saying, well, let's get the right person to reboot this and make it into a nice one-off action film with laser guns and all that sort of thing. And boy, it'd be just like Star Wars, wouldn't it? And they got J.J. Abrams to do it, who knows nothing about Star Trek. And I didn't like the end product, but nevertheless, I don't want to get into Star Trek 2009 here. That's not what we're here to do. We're here to talk about the next film, Star Trek Into Darkness. What's up with the name Star Trek Into Darkness? There's no colon. Star Trek : Into Darkness. Who cares about that, though? Star Trek Into Darkness is a fine name. I'm not concerned about... Prior to seeing this movie, I wasn't concerned about the title anymore. I was just, you know what, I'm gonna think of everything. I'm gonna assume that the best is in store for us with this new movie that's coming out, and I saw it, and I'll elaborate on how I saw it. I was sent an email earlier this morning, somebody telling me to click this link and there would be a Star Trek Into Darkness bootleg video upload somewhere on a server on the internet, you know. I reluctantly clicked it, assuming that it would just give me a virus. I was pleasantly surprised when I didn't get a virus, and up came the actual Star Trek Into Darkness movie. All 3 hours of it. And, talking about how the first movie, you didn't know whether you wanted to hate it or love it. After seeing Star Trek Into Darkness, you want to hate it. And being as big of a Star Trek fan as I am, this is not a comfortable subject for me to address, okay? And as far as this bootleg upload is concerned, it was taken down. I clicked it up again a few minutes ago, and it's off the internet now. It's just gone. And I looked around for some news articles about it somewhere, and haven't really found anything. It was really kind of my first experience with clicking on any, sort of spammed links to see what's going on with that. But the way in which I was spammed had me very curious, so I clicked it and it turned out not to be spam. So, but anyway, that's beyond the point. So let's talk about the movie. And I assume the movie, I guess what I saw would have been the finalized version, because the movie's only a few months away from being shipped off to the theaters, I guess, and it frightens me. I'll tell you one thing, and then I'll get into a detailed review of it. Well, not too detailed. Chewbacca was in the movie. You think I'm joking, don't you? No. Chewbacca was in the movie. And I don't know if J.J. Abrams, when he had lunch with George the other day or whatever, I don't know if he said, look, it'd really be funny if we had a cameo of Chewbacca in here. I mean, it's not like Chewbacca was a main character in this thing, but he was definitely in there. I mean, you think we didn't see that, J.J.? Jar Jar Abrams? Yeah, there's Chewbacca standing behind Kirk. I don't think so, man. Just wait till this thing comes out. As far as who Benedict Cumberbatch was playing, all the fangirls didn't care who he was playing. They just cared that he was in it, and all the people, all the fanboys were wondering what he was, who he was playing. Forgive that statement. He was playing Khan. Yeah, sure. He was playing Khan Noonien Singh. Let's see here. He was playing a number of other people too, though, wasn't he? Yeah, he was. Because people have been saying that he's going to be playing Gary Mitchell, he's going to be playing some random guy who I don't remember the name of, he's just some random character. Turns out he was playing everybody. He was playing Khan, he was playing Khan, he was playing Gary Mitchell, he was playing this other guy, he was playing Robert April too. Unbelievable. Because the way they had it was another time travel ordeal, okay? Time travel, again. You know, how many times do you have to have time travel in a Star Trek movie? That's for Doctor Who. Time and relative dimensions in space. That's Doctor Who, not Star Trek. Star Trek is boldly exploring new worlds and civilizations in the present. Okay? Voyage Home. Well, I'm not here to talk about Voyage Home, First Contact, any of those, you know, generations. But 2009 was a time travel ordeal. Into Darkness is a time travel ordeal as well. And Benedict Cumberbatch switching back and forth between 4 different people, 4 different continuities. And it's this big psychological piece on Benedict Cumberbatch's characters. We don't really see much of Kirk, Spock, any of those guys. We don't see much of them at all. All we see, it's like the first movie, how it didn't exactly feel legitimate. You felt like there were great things that you could do with this, but the way they were implemented was just kind of cheap, just flat. It didn't really have any depth to it, is the thing. And this, even more so, had less depth. It's just, all it was stereotyping and architects and, well, oh, look at that, or archetypes, sorry. Oh, look at that, Kirk's got to save Uhura. Oh, look at that, Spock loves Uhura. Oh, look at that, Spock wants to save Uhura before Kirk does. They had a rivalry. Kirk wanted Uhura in the movie. Spock and Kirk had a rivalry over Uhura. I'm not kidding you. What the heck? Kirk doesn't even care anymore. Kirk was just flirting with Uhura in the first movie, as offensive as that was. Now there's competition between Spock and Kirk over Uhura? Please. I wanted this to be really good. I was unsure with 2009. I didn't know whether it was going to be good or not. I was looking forward to it, of course, but I wasn't expecting much. And I was expecting a lot with this one. I really thought that they were going to do something good with it, and they didn't. And as far as, you know, me talking about how it was like a character study on Benedict Cumberbatch's big scenario, like, it was a 3-hour movie. 2 hours was just him running around doing his psycho stuff, and J.J. Abrams doing lens flares. And you talk about The Dark Knight and what a thing that was for the film industry and how that influenced a lot of things that went on, you know, with the darkness and all the hype and all that kind of thing. It was exactly like that. Remember how the Joker completely just ate up that movie, The Dark Knight? The Dark Knight wasn't about Batman. Batman was just kind of a dude, you know. But the Joker was your guy. You want to see how I got these scars, you know. That was what that was about. My mother was, you know, that kind of thing. In this Star Trek movies, The Dark Knight. But it's cheap and it's dumb and it's silly, and it's not even recognizably Star Trek anymore. Once again, like an Xbox video game. Because in the first one you had things that it was revamped, of course, but you could tell that that was the bridge and those were the uniforms. They don't have like the same uniforms anymore. They barely wear the original series uniforms in this movie. And they stuck all the frames of where the original series uniforms are used in the previous movie, 2009. All of those were pretty much stuck in the trailer to make you think that this was still Star Trek. But it's not. It's just a bunch of CGI and a bunch of running around and a bunch of hype, and it was awful. And is this finalized? Is this actually the finalized movie? And I'm really sorry because I'm just I'm all over the place with this, and there's no way they can rescue it from now until when it comes out, if they're even still doing stuff to it. So the point is, Star Trek Into Darkness, light years worse than its predecessor. And I had a lot of hope that J.J. Abrams, you know, Super 8 was a wonderful movie that Abrams did. Not that Spielberg had anything to do with it, you know. And I was thinking, well, you know, Abrams, he has a shot at doing something with Star Wars that he didn't do with Star Trek, couldn't do with Star Trek, because it's just, he's Trekkie impotent. And I don't think there's any hope for Star Wars after seeing this flop. And it just grieves me that this thing called Star Trek, that there's so much beauty in, and there's such a huge thing. I mean, it's not just the original series, this old show from 45 years ago. You got Next Gen, you got Voyager, you got Enterprise, you got a few movies that are good. And it's very sad that this huge universe with so much knowledge and so much beauty and great writing and acting and all that is just not utilized. And this new Star Trek Into Darkness makes the previous movie look like The Empire Strikes Back. And this movie tried to be The Empire Strikes Back, but it wound up being Star Crash. If you've ever seen the movie Star Crash.
Our galaxy is split into two warring factions, our own and the one ruled by the evil Count Zarthan.
So I'll see you guys later. Let's just meditate for a moment. To quote the president, we need to do some Jedi mind melds right now, so let's just kind of focus. If they do a third Star Trek in Darkness, may it be good, may it be better. A third Star Trek film by J.J. Abrams, may it be good, save Star Wars from the Jar Jar. May it be good, may Star Trek live long and prosper. Oh, by the way, Leonard Nimoy's in the movie too, Star Trek Into Darkness. Okay. Well, I'm also curious to see when Paramount's going to shut this video down. Because no doubt that this video is going to get a ton of views, and then Paramount's just going to shut it down. So, alright. I know it was a little goofy how I did this video with the mind melt and all that, but that's just how I'm feeling. So I'm going to take off this bike here. I'm going to do a little warp drive thing.